Is a narcissist really capable of love? All right, let's unpack this. What is it about narcissists that make this such a thorny issue? Well, narcissism, which is profound selfishness and profound emotional immaturity. So if you've got profound selfishness and profound emotional immaturity, then to a certain extent, the narcissist is not capable of really adult, mature, selfless love. Not really. Maybe they care about you to the extent that you can make them feel good, to the extent that you can do things for them, to some extent a companion to them, but are they selfless, and do they immerse yourself in your world? Not likely.
Dr. David Hawkins is a clinical psychologist who has brought healing and restoration to thousands of marriages and individuals for more than 40 years. He is passionate about helping couples heal marriage wounds and rediscover deeper connection and intimacy. This is the Counterculture Mom Show. I'm your host, Tina Griffin. Get ready for part 2 as we talk about narcissism with Clinical Director of Marriage Recovery Center, Dr. David Hawkins. David, I could not wait to get you back on the show. Those last 5 minutes were painful. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Tina. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. So we're going to just kick it into high gear, part 2 here. If you have not seen part 1, watch that. It absolutely sets the stage for what we're about to dissect and address here. I wanted you to go a little more into detail about the common signs and behaviors associated with emotional abuse. Can you give us a couple of those?
Yeah, I mean, it really can be described fairly simply, and that is the victim of emotional abuse, Tina, feels diminished, she feels disregarded, she feels totally alone in this relationship. Why? Why? Because he is full of himself. He may not be braggadocious. I mean, he may not be kind of all puffed up, although he could be. But what happens day in and day out, is his way dominates. Her way, she must subjugate herself to a certain extent to him. And it happens again and again and again. She becomes voiceless. She becomes unheard. She becomes a shell of herself. She starts to suffer physiologically. And that happens just again and again and again. His domination, his dismissal, his defensiveness. And so this is not a healthy, vibrant relationship where it can become a two-way street. But sadly, Tina, at this stage, in this kind of relationship, it's a one-way street. And that's what causes damage again and again and again.
Unreal. Your part 1 blew my mind. Of course, I have like 14 more questions to ask you because of that. The next one on the hit list, how does narcissistic abuse differ from emotional abuse? And what are some key characteristics of narcissistic abuse?
So when we think of narcissism, if we really talk about narcissism is about a self-inflated individual. You know, they are grandiose. They are full of themselves. They are overtly arrogant. And so they are bullies. And when we look at them, we think that guy's a bully. I mean, he's just a bully. We all see that he's a bully. We can feel that he's a bully. When he walks into a room, he sucks up the air in the room. Emotional abuse can look quite a bit different. He may not look like a bully. He may not seem like a bully, but he is, because what I've said, he's still dominant in subtle ways, in the nuances. He may be a vulnerable narcissist. What's that? That's a person who's a little 6-year-old who really can't tolerate criticism. You know, he gets hurt in the slightest little things. He pouts, he withdraws, he's passive aggressive. And so anybody who looks at him would say, he's not a narcissist. I mean, he's not. And he may not look or feel like the overt narcissist. But make no mistake, there's covert arrogance, there's covert power and control, there's covert domination, and it's just as damaging.
Okay. I can relate to everything you just said. That's the category that Luke is struggling with right there. So my question is, we're going to go to your website, book, and everything else for your resources because they're phenomenal. You address these different types of narcissism and help people be freed from it. So if I know millions are probably watching this right now thinking, yup, married to one, or yup, that's me, I need help. You will be able to help these people be freed from what you just described. Praise the Lord.
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, maybe is the right answer.
Okay.
Because because it depends upon intervention. And
Yes.
we walk with every call that we get dozens and dozens of calls, as you can imagine, every month. And one of the first things I ask them about is, what level of intervention have you tried? And typically, many, many women, sadly, aren't using effective means of intervention. And so what level of intervention has been tried? And then we talk about what a higher level of intervention might look like. And then, now this is a huge topic, Tina. The topic is accountability. What does that really look like? I have so many men who say to me, "Oh, Dr. Hawkins, I'm in accountability." "Oh, really? Tell me about it." "Well, I go to a Bible study and those men hold me accountable." I doubt it, I say. I doubt it. I doubt it. Do they really know what you are like on your worst day? "Well, I've told them I have an anger problem." Yeah, but do they really know what your anger... Exactly. Are they able to talk about it? Is this accountability partner really willing to challenge you and to say, "Look, I want to know what you're like on your worst day. I want to know the ugliness of your life." And then, are you getting real help with that ugliness? And so, Tina, the answer is real intervention has to take place, and it's got to be with a professional who really knows about this stuff. And then she has to be involved in the treatment to one extent or another.
Otherwise, it won't stick.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you that. It won't stick.
It won't stick.
So here's what's crazy. If a narcissist is saying they're being accountable and that they talked about that the fact that they have an anger issue, typically a narcissist is not going to even realize how bad that is, or deceptive, or the lying issue. Yeah, I lie every now and then, but I'm like, in our situation, that is a big deal. Now, it's been a while because we're both seeing change in each other because God is getting a hold of us. But in the past, it was lie, 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 lie. And a narcissist never really realized how much they're lying because they're a narcissist. They don't think they are even lying. So you need your help because otherwise...
Say it again, Tina, because this is so key. Remember what I said. I said that individuals that are emotionally abusive, in fact, I want to give listeners and viewers 5 things to think about. This individual is likely to have underlying attitudes of arrogance and superiority.
Yes.
That's woven into his character. Number 2, he's got a lack of empathy. Oh my gosh, did you say that, Dr. Hawkins? A lack of empathy.
Yep.
So, in other words, they're not really feeling what their mate is feeling. They're really not tuned into it.
Okay,
Number 3,
I'm sorry. I got to interrupt you on this because, and I'm laying Luke and I bare right here. This is the issue with us. He hates that I repeat myself, but the reason I sometimes repeat myself is because he's not even hearing and understanding how much stuff is hurting me. And I say it again, a different way, a different timing, hoping that this time he'll understand. And this is like the 16 years of marriage, that how much what he's saying and doing is hurting. And I'm thinking, if he really loves me, he wouldn't keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Everything you're saying. And then I get more agitated, more upset. And then, of course, I'm not adding Christ-like being Christ-like in the middle of all this mess. Oh, keep going. Number 3. Sorry.
Permission. Permission to step on your toes just slightly. You probably, I don't know you, but probably fit into the mold of what many women that call me have, and that is they're over-functioners. So what do we have here, Tina? We've got the woman who's saying, look,
Stop.
I'm reading books to you, I'm telling you, I'm giving you videos to watch, come on. And what's he doing? Oh, no, I don't really have that much of he's using thinking errors of minimization, rationalization, justification, sanitization, excuse making. How about this one? Future faking. Oh, honey, I've got it. Honey, I understand. Oh, honey, trust me. Life will be different. And it's not. Oh, honey, I think I went to 3 counseling sessions, honey, and I'm sure you'll see changes. I mean, haven't you noticed, honey, that I'm opening my Bible? Future faking. No, that's not change. All right, number 3 on my list. So number
you know
one
what? I'm coming down to have private, like with you and your wife, and Luke too. We need some help face to face. Anyway, number 3. You're yes to everything you said.
Number 1 is an attitude of arrogance and superiority. It's there. It's under the surface. He really thinks he's a cut above and doesn't really need much help. Number 2, lacking in empathy. Number 3, an attitude of self-protection, minimization, justification, rationalization, excuse-making, blame shifting. It's not me, honey. It's you. It's really you. You're making, an attitude of self-protection. Number 4, profound emotional immaturity. Oh, he's a little boy. He's a little boy that needs to grow up and will need some help with that. And then number 5 is lacking dedication to change. He does half measures. He reads part of a book and thinks he's got it. He goes to 3 counseling sessions and thinks he's got it. He reads his Bible once every 2 weeks and thinks he's got it. It's an inadequate effort, and so he's trying, but not training. Pastor Craig Groeschel, I'll give a shout out to him. He has got a wonderful video on men. Go to training. Come on. You train in your jobs, you train in sports, you train in other ways. But when it comes to emotional growth, you don't. Okay, so those are 5 traits. Why does a narcissist act the way they do? Arrogance, emotional immaturity, self-protection, lacking dedication to change. All of those things combined will lead a man down a blind dead-end alley.
Oh my gosh. And I know where Luke and I are in our relationship. He's going to watch this and probably shed some tears because it will pierce his heart because it's perfect, good tears. Because it's exactly where he's at. And I don't want this to be like a Luke bomb session here. There's millions of men, like you said in part 1, that have these issues. And Luke said via text to me today, he knew I was doing this topic. He goes, share whatever God places on your heart, knowing full well that I was going to share exactly what we're going through. We're laying our lives bare for America because we want other people to see Christ, cling to Jesus, get the help that they need. And if we have to be bare for America, we be bare. More with Dr. Hawkins, right at a short word from our important sponsors. Support our sponsors. They're the reason we have the show on the air. A good chunk of our production costs comes from these sponsors supporting us. The rest come for donors like you. Donate at counterculturemom.com and let's do this in the new year. More with David right after this.
Can we trust what's written in the book of Genesis? How could a flood cover the entire earth? And where do dinosaurs fit in the Bible? Find the answers to these questions and more at the ICR Discovery Center in Dallas. Bring family and friends to experience the wonders of creation through our exhibit hall and stunning planetarium shows. Experience the origins of our universe. Step aboard Noah's Ark, chill in our Ice Age Theater, meet the founders of science, encounter animatronic animals, and so much more. Our scientists' work is on display in the current research exhibit, and our biology research laboratory showcases our experiments. And don't forget to shop the Discovery Store for t-shirts, books, gifts, and more. Discover how science confirms the Bible today.
Bring your family and friends to the ICR Discovery Center in Dallas. To plan your visit, go to icr.org/Tina. That's icr.org/TINA.
We have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders.
My name's Scott. I'm with Patriot Mobile. What is going on with all the woke companies in this country? It seems like everybody has completely lost their minds, right? No more. This is called voting with our dollars. We need to start prioritizing our beliefs and our values over convenience and comfort. And this is why companies like Patriot Mobile are so important right now.
If you have a place to go put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded.
Of course.
I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
My pronouns are Bible believer, gun carrier, and mama bear. We are the nation's only Christian conservative wireless provider.
Switch today at patriotmobile.com. For free activation, use promo code TINA.
Hey everybody, God is guiding us to continue to expose, educate, and encourage our viewers with jam-packed episodes each week. This year, we are praying that each one of you come alongside us so we can form a huge army to go fight in this battle together. On the days we want to give up or get threats, you keep us going. Thank you for spending time watching our program and being on the front of the battle lines with us. If you'd like to donate to Counterculture Ministries and join our team as a ministry partner, you can make your tax-deductible gift by going to counterculturemom.com and then just click on the pink donate button at the top of the site. If every viewer helped with $5 a month, we would have all the expenses needed and be able to make this show available on even more platforms, allowing us to help more kids. As a bonus, if you become a new monthly partner, our team will be sending out the book, Countercultural Parenting, Building Character in a World of Compromise, as a gift to you in the mail. This book talks about building godly character in the lives of our kids. Thank you for joining forces with us. Let's do some damage together. May we use our talents, time, and resources to the best of our ability to protect the innocence of the most vulnerable, our children. Counterculturemom.com. Let's do this. 2 curveball questions for you, buddy. Number 1, we're talking a lot about men this and men that and the women being the victims. Do you ever deal with couples where the woman is a narcissist and the man is the victim?
Sadly, or surprisingly, not sadly, surprisingly, our most popular video was on women who are narcissistic as well. So, you know, what do we know? We think that women are about 10% of the narcissistic population. What makes this kind of crazy, Tina, is that a woman can look narcissistic because she has been it's called reactive abuse. You know, she's been storing up frustration, and then she blows up and she acts in ways that she would not normally act. And so then he goes, "You're just as narcissistic as I am. You're just as," and it looks like that. So I want to draw the line here, Tina. It can look, are there women narcissists? There are. Are there women that look like narcissists? There are. And it really is an issue of a can of Coca-Cola shaken up and shaken up and shaken up and shaken up. And finally, she blows and she's just beside herself. She is so frustrated. So,
oh my gosh.
Complicated question.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
So yeah, we got to stop that nasty cycle. Second curveball question. When you are helping the narcissist through your marriagerecoverycenter.com, all the resources, we're going to get to that here in a minute. Do you also offer help for the victim that is married to or dating or the
Totally.
child of a narcissist? Okay, that's so important. I'm so glad you do that because a lot of times they have a bomb they got to deal with, trauma.
We have simultaneous tracks. We've got a track for women. It's called Redeemed. It's for women who are recovering from emotional abuse and just trying to find their footing. And how do they develop healthy boundaries with a person that has been a boundary buster? And how do they reclaim their serenity and their faith and just different aspects of their life that they have lost over the years? So reclaiming their lives again, absolutely an important aspect of treatment.
So needed. Love it.
Yep.
We're going to talk about more with you, Doctor, right after the short word from our sponsors.
We're a well-funded Christian entertainment company that's making world-class games for children. And what we're doing is unique because we're building top-notch gaming content that competes with the top of the stuff on the App Store, but that contains God's truth. Whether it's games that are biblical or games that come out of a new world we've created called the Rimverse. I was looking out at the world and I got bothered by a few things. Anxiety, suicide, and depression rates are all-time highs for children, which exactly parallels the rise of social media on smartphones. I noticed that for the first time in American history, less than half of Americans go to church. While over 60% of people in this country over 40 believe in God, that for children, well, it's only 32%. As a parent, and I'm a parent, and there's a lot of parents out there that we hear this from, that want the True Play solution, there's nowhere they can take their kids to deliver them high quality entertainment, something that they're actually going to enjoy and use, but that also contains God's truth, that contains the values that they hold dear.
Head over to trueplaygames.com to learn more.
Here are 7 signs you may have a parasite. My biggest issue, because I did have parasites, was teeth grinding, skin irritation, and unexplained digestive issues. The other indication that you could have a parasite is eating after 7 p.m. and craving sugar. My name is Kim. I'm the worm queen and the inventor of the Parify Kit. Let's go over it. Parify, it's your parasite cleanse. Sustain, it's your candida and your bad bacteria cleanse. Metal Flush, it's your heavy metal detox. Cinnabon, it's your binder. You take Parify and Metal Flush 3 times a day and Sustain 2 times a day. You can take them all together. The kit comes with instructions. Cinnabon is your binder and you take that at night. We have a nut-free option. We ship worldwide. The Parify Kit is for ages 3 and up. Use Tina as your 10% discount code. Find it on rogersfood.com.
Dr. Hawkins, I am very excited to learn more about your course, to get your books. But first, I want to ask you, cognitive dissonance, you mentioned that term during break. Can you give me more info on that?
Sure. Cognitive dissonance, Tina, is when the brain, our brains want to make sense of things. The brain looks for patterns, and this makes sense. We need cohesive stories. But the woman, the victim of emotional and narcissistic abuse, is going like, wait a minute. He says he loves me more than anything. He says he would do anything for me. He would die for me. But he won't listen to me. He won't listen to me. He won't receive my concerns. This does not make sense. And so she racks her brains. Now remember that she is isolated and alone. She doesn't know how to make sense of this story. And we work with women to help them make sense of it because it really does make sense. Here's how it makes sense. Remember my 5 points that I said a few minutes ago. The 5 points being, it can make sense. It's not right. It's not healthy, Tina, but it can make sense if we think, he has issues with arrogance. He has issues with lacking empathy that need to be cultivated and grown. He is self-protective and defensive and blame shifts as a way to protect his fragile ego. He lacks a dedication to change. He's emotionally immature. So all of those things, by the way, all 5 issues there can be worked on.
MarriageRecoveryCenter.com. Tell us where to go if we're newbies on getting the help that we need, the best spot to start with.
Well, you're going to go to the website, Tina. You're going to go to www.marriagerecoverycenter.com. If I can give a shout out, there's not too many books that really will help you navigate. So I want to share about my book, When Loving Him is Hurting You. And then my second book is In Sickness and in Health, the physiological symptoms of emotional abuse. So just learn everything you can about emotional abuse and then figure out where can you get expert care, because you can't get it everywhere. And I'm not here to pick on the church, Tina, but we as a church need to become more knowledgeable about emotional abuse. It isn't just stay and pray, and it isn't walk away. Those are two extremes. It is become knowledgeable about emotional abuse and narcissistic abuse, and then get expert help, and then help and healing are possible. Thank God.
So good. Your blog, for those tuning in via radio, or if you're tuning in via podcast, listen to some of these titles. Why Narcissists Believe They Are Special. What It's Like Talking to a Narcissist. Do Narcissists Have Feelings? Why Narcissists Always Put You Down. I mean, this is just unbelievable and believable all at the same time. You rock. We're going to do a 2-part series. There's no way we're done. Everybody out there, watch part 3 coming up next with Dr. David Hawkins. We're going to talk all about hope. Is there hope for the narcissist? What about the victim? Can families get back together again? Renewed marriages and all the rest. More with Dr. Hawkins in part 3. For this episode right here. Share it with the masses. If you've watched it, share it, text it, email it, send it off to different people. Let them know where we are so they can actually watch this life-saving content as well. Counterculturemom.com. Once again, looking for donors. We'd love to have you join forces with us in the new year. Help us reach more families with this God truth, man. We need it in there. If we can't get the help we need, we can't help anybody else. And you can donate by going to counterculturemom.com. Keep at it, everybody. Don't move, doctor. We're going to be back with you in a couple seconds here for part 3. Make it a great week, everybody.